For those of you that are selling off your Jaxson Dart stocks, I think you're making a big mistake. Brian Flores is one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. He eats rookie quarterbacks for breakfast. That was a brutal spot for Jaxson Dart yesterday. That was almost an unwinnable situation, especially when you consider the game plan, more on that in a second, that Mike Kafka and the Giants had for Jaxson Dart. But I put this mainly on the Vikings having a great defense, Flores being an outstanding coordinator, and let's be honest, this is a game that Brian Flores, I'm sure, had circled on his calendar for a very long time. He wanted to stick it to the Giants and Jaxson Dart here. So I'm not selling off my Jaxson Dart stock. I think he is going to be the next great quarterback in the NFL. I've said that now for months, and I stand firm on that. And I got a lot of messages about it yesterday, and I saw it all over social media. Maybe Jaxson Dart is not the guy. Maybe he's overhyped. Maybe he's overrated. That was a horrible stat line. This guy is a bust. He stinks. Flash in the pan. Nope. Jaxson Dart is the next great quarterback in this league. I am not selling off any of my Jaxson Dart stocks. Now, as far as Mike Kafka and the way that he built this game plan, especially yesterday for Jaxson Dart, if you remember, and if you forgot, I'll remind you, after the Patriot game, first game, Jaxson Dart back off the concussion, Kafka now the head coach. I called for Kafka's firing, or at least demotion, after that game because I said, what were we watching when it came to the game plan for Jaxson Dart? It was conservative. It was training wheels. They're holding his hand. Vanilla Jaxson Dart, a vanilla, offense. It wasn't the spark in the Jaxson Dart that we saw under Brian Daboll. And I said Mike Kafka should have been demoted. Now, a lot of people laughed and said, that's ridiculous. You can't fire or demote the interim coach. Well, fast forward a couple weeks later, and everybody's on my side. Kafka stinks. He's the worst coach in Giants history. He's awful. Bring back Brian Daboll. Yeah. I said this weeks ago, Mike Kafka should have been out after that Patriot game because he quit on a football field and he basically threw Jaxson Dart out there and said, you know what? You're not going to be the Dart that everybody fell in love with. We're going to put the training wheels on you. We're going to hold your hand. We're not going to let you run the ball as far as design runs. It's not going to be the flashiness, the excitement, the spark that Jaxson Dart needs to be that great quarterback. Now, as far as Brian Daboll, I think we've learned something here this year and last when it comes to firing head coaches. Robert Saleh, who I called for his job a lot of times, but last year I was really calling for, you got to fire him. Robert Saleh is a defensive coordinator masquerading as a head coach. He's not cut out for this job. And ultimately, the Jets did fire Robert Saleh in the middle of the year, and it was a mistake. Jeff Ulbrich was not qualified. Jeff Ulbrich was then spread way too thin, and the Jet defense has not recovered since. Giants this year, everyone called for Brian Daboll's firing. And Brian Daboll should have got fired, just not when he did. They should have finished out the year with Daboll. They should have finished out the year with Saleh because it made things worse. And the way they are using Jaxson Dart right now, they wouldn't have been the case with Brian Daboll. Because Brian Daboll was trying to save his job. And I get it. Dart was taking a lot of big hits, and you worry about the long-term, health and safety of the guy. But at this rate, why even play Jaxson Dart? If this is the Jaxson Dart we're going to see for the next couple weeks, and we'll get to my overall point of losing games, but take that out of it now. That's why I'm giving this take, because we all know I want the Giants to lose out. Even if I didn't feel that way, and even if you don't feel that way, what are we watching? I keep hearing, Jaxson Dart's got to learn. He's learning nothing right now. Absolutely nothing. If anything, they're probably overcomplicating things for him because the Jaxson Dart that we saw against the Chargers, that we saw against the Bears, that we saw against the Eagles, the Broncos, the Jaxson Dart that took the league by storm is no longer the Jaxson Dart we are seeing on the football field, and it has nothing to do with Jaxson. It's not his fault. In fact, we put out a video of my buddy, Chris McMonagle, saying that I'm paraphrasing, that the Giants don't trust Jaxson Dart and that the game plan they had yesterday, Kafka had yesterday, was puzzling. And Jaxson Dart himself liked the message on Instagram. So Jaxson Dart agrees. There's no point in playing him if this is going to be the way they utilize him. Now, big picture. I told you that we have entered Relaxin' Jackson. And shout out to Chase, who came up with the idea, caller. We have now reached the point in the season, especially with the way they're utilizing him, where Jaxson Dart needs to sit. Because the ultimate goal here is for the Giants to lose out. I would start Russell Wilson. Don't think they're going to do that, but I would start Russell Wilson. Because the game on Sunday against the Raiders is so paramount. And as I sit here a couple of days before Christmas, all I want for Christmas is for the Giants to lose to the Raiders. All I want for Christmas is for the Raiders to beat the Giants. All I want for Christmas is the number 1 overall pick so I can trade that pick to the Jets for all their picks. The Jets get their quarterback. We, as Giant fans, the Giant organization, gets a bunch of first-round picks, a bunch of second-round picks, and they can build around Jaxson Dart. That's what I want for Christmas. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. And that's basically a standalone game on Sunday. You got 2 games in the 4 o'clock window. Bills, Eagles, with not a lot on the line. Obviously some seeding and stuff like that. And it should be a great game. Obviously 2 great teams. But the eyes of the football world, you got to be on Giants Raiders. I mean, that is basically for the number 1 overall pick. And whether or not they relax in Jackson, and whether or not Tiki gets that note to Shane, upper management, for my idea to start Russell Wilson, because I think Russell Wilson gives you the best chance to lose. Although the way they're utilizing Jaxson Dart right now, maybe it is starting Jaxson Dart. But I still think Dart, even with training wheels on, can beat the Raiders. I don't want to risk it. That's what it all comes down to, because all I want for Christmas is for the Giants to lose on Sunday. All I want for Christmas is for the Raiders to beat the Giants. Now, hear me out on something here. And I don't think what I'm saying and about to say is crazy, because other hosts on this station, and I'll call him out by name, Evan Roberts, suggested around July that perhaps Mike Tomlin could be the next head coach of the Giants. Now, in typical Mike Tomlin factor, or fashion, I should say, Mike Tomlin has rallied after the Steeler fans chanted for him to be fired. The Steelers are now on a roll. They beat the Lions yesterday, and they are cruising towards the playoffs. So Mike Tomlin to the Giants, that dream is over. Sean Marash has suggested Sean McVay to the Giants. I mean, come on. So 2 guys here, 2 hosts on this station have suggested Mike Tomlin and Sean McVay. So what I'm about to suggest, I don't think it's crazy, and I don't think out of bounds, and I don't think it's totally fair to bring this name up. All great things must come to an end. The Chiefs have been a dynasty. The Chiefs have been a model franchise. The Chiefs have been football perfection at times. But all great things must come to an end. Travis Kelce is not the player he used to be. Travis Kelce could retire this year, next year. His days are certainly numbered. Patrick Mahomes suffered a major injury. He's still going to be great. Don't know when he's going to come back next year. Could be week 1, could be late in the season. We'll see. But the Chiefs are getting older. And perhaps, the Chief dynasty is over. So how about Andy Reid returns to the NFC East and coaches the Giants? To stick it to Philadelphia, to stick it to the Eagles, to be the coach to bring Jaxson Dart and the Giants, because I've been saying this all along. I think it's a coaching issue with the Giants, not personnel. I think the roster's there. And Andy Reid is arguably the greatest coach of our lifetime. Arguably. And you know how you end that argument? By taking a 3rd team to a Super Bowl. By taking the Giants to the Super Bowl and winning. So I'm going to put the flag in the ground here. Andy Reid. Like everybody, Sean McVay, Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh. All these names are being mentioned. Andy Reid's untouchable. We can't mention his name. The Chiefs can't look to rebuild around Patrick Mahomes. And maybe Andy Reid says, you know what, Spags, you take over. Win some Super Bowls with Mahomes. I'm going to go to New York. You heard it here first. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Let's go to Adam in Danbury, Connecticut. What's up, Adam?
Hey, I just wanted to go back to what you were saying before about the Giants game and the game plan. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. They did a great job losing. Props to Darius Slayton for having the worst hands in the NFL.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah. So, okay, Adam, you're bringing up an interesting point here. Because I'm trying to, sort of toe the line or walk the tightrope here because I want the Giants to lose. I've been very clear about that. I want them to lose. But I also have to speak to part of the audience who wants to see them win, who wants to see Jaxson Dart be out there learning, getting better. So I try to speak for both sections of the fan base here, even though my personal belief and my personal opinions and all I want for Christmas is the Giants to lose out, to lose to the Raiders, to lose to the Cowboys. But there are fans out there that are angry, that are frustrated. It seems like Jaxson Dart himself is frustrated with the way he was utilized yesterday. And this is why, Adam, we can all come together, combine as one to sit Jaxson Dart. I see no reason to play him at this point. If they are going to utilize him the way they've been using him the last couple games, it is in the best interest of not only the franchise, but of Jaxson Dart for the Giants to keep the number 1 overall pick or keep themselves slotted at number 1, trade that pick to the Jets for all their picks, and to build around Jaxson Dart. And to my last point, if you're Andy Reid and the Giants have the number 1 overall pick and Jaxson Dart, all of a sudden the Giants become a very sexy destination to be their head coach. It's like there was a great train, literally the great train, pulling into the station. And I decided, you know what? I'm getting on that train. There's plenty of seats. Not everybody wanted to get on it, though. We want to win, Loogie. I'm going to the game. I'm going to the game against the Vikings. I'm going to the game against the Cowboys. I want to win. Yeah? Do the Giants want to win? I'm not saying that they did anything nefarious yesterday, but if they did, great, because I don't want to win. They shouldn't want to win. And the best thing for them is to lose. But what you watched yesterday, what we watched against the Patriots, is not what we fell in love with Jaxson Dart. So why even bother playing him? Just accept what's happening. Just accept what needs to be done. There's one goal. There's one mission. And that is to lose out and keep the number 1 overall pick. And we can get past all the discourse if they just start Russell Wilson. Because then everyone will be on board at that point. There won't be a single Giant fan if they start Russell Wilson that's going to say, we got to beat the Raiders. Why? I think everybody wants to get on the Jaxson Dart, hey, won some games, great. Not with this game plan, they're not. Now, I give a lot of credit to Brian Flores. Like I said, I think the Giants, that was going to be a tough spot either way. Rookie quarterback. Flores, a great coordinator. The Vikings are playing great recently. They always have a strong defense. And Flores probably went into this game highly motivated to put on a big-time performance as a coordinator. That being said, look at the Patriot game. Because none of those factors existed. And yet we still saw the same type of game plan with Jaxson Dart. So why play him? Why win a game? Why risk it? Lose. Keep the number 1 overall pick and trade it. That's what's best for this franchise. Let's go to Marty in Tenafly. What's up, Marty?
My man, I tell you, I love you, but whatever's in that eggnog, it's not coming to New York.
I don't really like it.
We're abysmal.
I don't like eggnog.
We're terrible.
Yeah.
We're terrible.
Okay. And
I'm
sorry.
Well,
I didn't hear the first part. We're abysmal, we're terrible. What'd you say prior to that?
I said Andy Reid is not coming here. I mean, I love you, and whatever that eggnog has, and it's
but wait a minute. Hold on, Marty. Why is my suggestion of Andy Reid crazy, but Evan's suggestion of Mike Tomlin, Marash's suggestion of Sean McVay, people have suggested John Harbaugh? Why are those crazy?
No, all of them. They're all nuts.
Oh, okay.
No coach in their right mind with a winning record is going to come to this dysfunctional franchise.
Why? What if the Giants are trending up? Even though it doesn't look like they're trending up, I think their roster would be winning. Let me ask you this, Marty. Oh, we let you go. Let me ask you this, Marty. With better coaching, did the Giants beat the Vikings yesterday? The answer is yes. With better coaching, did the Giants beat the Lions a couple weeks ago? The answer is yes. With better coaching, would the Giants have beat the 49ers? Yes. Would they have beaten the Broncos? Yes. Would they have beaten the Cowboys? Yes. Would they have beaten Washington if Russell Wilson wasn't starting? Yes. Would they have beaten the Chiefs probably earlier in the year? Perhaps. What would the record look like with a better head coach this season? A hell of a lot better than what it is. So they're not as bad as you think they are. 888-808-1019 is the number to call. Let's go to Barry on the Fan. What's up, Barry?
Hey, Tommy. How are you? Thanks for taking the call.
No, you got it.
I agree that it would be best for the franchise to get the number one pick in the draft. However, I would say it's not as important as like the last 2 years when we didn't have a quarterback.
No, I think it's just as important, Barry. Think about the situation the Giants would be in. It's such a golden opportunity because most teams that are picking first overall, already have their quarterback of the future, already have their franchise quarterback. Or don't have it, I should say. The Giants do. Most teams don't have it when they're picking first. They're looking for the quarterback. The Giants are not looking for their quarterback. So they have the chance to trade that pick to a quarterback-needy team like the Jets, who already have a ton of picks, accumulated over, various trades. So it puts the Giants in a very nice position. So I think, unlike other years, this is even better because they already have the quarterback. All right.